Dark, who recently has been struggling against Protoss, but he didn't face any Protosses. I think Dark got kind of lucky this bracket, not gonna lie. Dark avoided Classic and he avoided Hero as well. So I'm pretty sure Dark is very happy with that. He is in his element. He is not here. In the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Terran player, the free agent himself, the ex-military Terran. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the PG. It is Dark. So unfortunately, I did not get a co-caster today. Feels bad, man. Chase, oh my god, as we go for a pool first. Chase is unavailable, Yaku's unavailable, Asher as well was feeling under the weather. You know, so much love to all of them, as unfortunately they weren't able to join me today, but you know, maybe next time, I'll have to rest my voice after this. Oh boy, I have to try and temper myself, as Dark is going for a pool first. So I'm really curious, I'm very curious as to the reasoning behind this. Neo Humanity, of course, has the shortest rush distance. It's the shortest rush distance map in the entire map pool, so you can take advantage of that. He is going to be taking his natural at the natural location. He doesn't do anything crazy to take like the forward base to go into roaches. And for the time being, he is opening up gasless as well. So we'll see what he can get done with these initial 6 slings. His goal is to sneak out across the map and avoid the first Reaper and force a cancel on this CC. Oh boy. Oh my god, he's even sending out a drone? Oh my, he's taking the linear third. Very rarely do I see a Zerg player especially take the linear third base. Oh my god. Yeah, he's going gasless. He's crazy. I love it. There we go. Goes straight into his third hatchery here. In a very unpredictable location. The Lings are sneaking around. They avoid the Reaper as well. The Lings making their way downtown, walking fast, and they're going to be diving on top of this SCV. Oh, actually, they're going straight for the Marine instead. Oh my god, they get in! The wall is not a wall. We do peel off one Ling to focus down that worker. Meanwhile, the boys are pulled. This Marine is protected. Oh my god, but Dark, he's coming from behind. Oof. Meanwhile, the SCV is focused down, so we're going to be forcing a delay. We're not going to be forcing a cancel, though. So, you know, light commitment from Dark. Regardless, he is dealing a lot of damage, and he gets a second SCV. Even forces the Reaper back home. Oh, so not bad at all. Oh my, like this CC is so heavily delayed. Finally, we're going to be seeing some resumed production on this. We also saw a full scout off. I don't believe we saw the add-ons though. Oh, GuMiho reacting on the fly here is going to be delaying his starport. Is going to be delaying a third CC for a bit of a better setup. Oh, there we go. Starport's on the way. This is such a fast tech lab on the fact. Is he going to go for a Cyclone first? What's happening? Okay, he's going for an Avansol. I was like, what? Oh my god. Meanwhile, looking at the vision here of GuMiho, he did not see the third base location. He did scout at the triangular third, but it looks like he's preparing for a 2-base all-in. We'll see, we'll see. He should be setting up for a Banshee. Hellions are on the way. There, he doesn't know about that third hatchery. He checks once again. He doesn't see a third. Dark gonna try and deny any kind of scouting. He goes into the main base. He sees a lack of gas, which is, you know, it's kind of odd. It's like, mate, if you're on 2 bases, but if you don't have any gases, what exactly are you even doing? Whereas Dark is still just completely gasless. And just droning as much as possible. He is being so greedy. Look at the worker disparity. GuMiho is forced to take his third on location. This is crazy. No one does this, but it makes sense. There's no link speed. There's no roaches. There is nothing coming out from Dark, so GuMiho should be able to get away with this third CC. Again, just a way to catch up and try to get back into this economically. Meanwhile, he's going to be committing as well, not just Banshee production, but he's going into Cloak. which will do well against roaches. I think he's reading his opponent quite well. Dark is known for his roach play. Like, when I think of Dark, I think like his spirit animal is the roach. So Banshees will do quite well defensively and offensively, to be fair. Fourth base is thrown down. GuMiho does now get eyes on where that third hatchery is, so he is now fully aware of kind of his position and the game state itself. As to catch up, Dark is going to be taking every single gas geyser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gases taken here from Dark. Double Evo Chamber. He's going to be skipping, or he should be skipping Link Speed straight to a lair as well. Oh. Just the greed, papi. And I feel like he was able to get away with a lot of this just because of Neo Humanity, just because his third base was unscattered for so long as well. Meanwhile, the Banshees are zooming across the map. They do have their cloak. We have a couple of Hellions being set up here to potentially go for a run by on the right-hand side. Queens are going to be distracted by the Banshees. This will create an opening here for those Hellions, depending on where GuMiho goes. As he rotates over towards the third, he's met by a Spore. He gets 2 drones, not too bad, but unable to find too much more damage. Third base is getting saturated. GuMiho getting up into 1-1, throwing down the rest of his Raxes, as to be expected. Just setting up here on 5 Raxes on 3 bases. And just after these openers, like technically not a lot has happened. Like there hasn't been like a lot of action, but a lot has happened. And like look at the drone count. Like that's what I mean. Like Dark, he gets away with all these bases, he gets away with all this droning, he gets away with the creep. Like, it's crazy. the position that Dark has found himself in. And at this point, there's no real way to punish him, especially because we already have roaches coming out. It's like, we already now have our gases, we now have our upgrades on the way. GuMiho just has to accept it. And to be fair, he did react with his own fast third TC on location. So to be fair, like he's, trying to keep up with the greed of Dark. But it's still a really difficult thing to do. And soon, Dark is finished droning. 79 drones, every single gas geyser, 8 gases. He's going to make nothing but roaches. He's going to just hammer down that roach key. We have a Nidus on the way to sneak into the main base. We have an Overseer in position to provide vision into the main as well. And Dark is just going for one kill move. One big kill move, to be fair. Oh boy. Here we go. We're up to 33 roaches. We're making more. We've got Ravagers on the way. We've got a bunch of Queens as well. We see a bit of a counterattack being set up by GuMiho. But alas, he does get deflected. The rest of Dark's army is looking to try and cut off these Marines. We do have tanks, but we don't have any SimCity. Dark, he just dives on top of the tanks. He just doesn't even care. Yeah, I think he probably should, but he doesn't. Into 3 tanks is a bit of a meat grinder, but it looks like Dark is going to be able to overwhelm anyway. At the same time, we have the Nidus into the main base. Dark is getting on top of the production. Every tank goes down. GG gets called, and Dark, in a dominating fashion, takes game number 1. Oh my god. It was insane what Dark got away with. He got up to... It's like he got up to 80 drones for free. So, technically 79 drones, but God, for free, papi, for free. Very impressive by Dark. Something that you can only do on Neo Humanity, I feel, especially because of the pool first opener as well, because of the rush distance. There's so much that came into that. If you're going to try it yourself, if you're out there, if you're a Zerg player, I do recommend you holding this off for a small map. Don't do this on Altitude. Don't do this on Ancient Cistern. But yeah, wow. GG. Very powerful play from Dark in game 1. But as I was trying to allude to there, I do think that that was very map specific, and I don't expect to see that again in this series. Maybe a variation. We do see Dark again work with roaches and Niduses a lot, but getting to that point is going to be done differently, especially on Gresva. as that is where we are loading in. Ugh. Crazy. Here we go, Papi. Here we go. We are now getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Greswan. We have the South Korean Terran player representing himself. And currently down 0-1 in this series, it is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Greswan, we have his opponents, the player currently leading this series, the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is Dark. Oh, shout out to Babylings. Oh, he goes for a pull first once again. Because why not, you know? Why fix what isn't broken, but could still be broken? We'll see. As Dark does open up with a pull first. Again, I don't believe he's going to be going for the gasless opener the same way that he went for in game number 1, but we'll see. You know, I'm ready to be told otherwise here as we look upon what Dark is up to. A shout out to Babylings, as she offers to co-cast, but her co-casting will just be her just with Dark propaganda. With the lovely Dark Kobe pasta that's going on in the chat right now. Aye. Shaking my head. Stark once again is opening up here with his 6 lings, and here we go. Again, this is a lot more sensible. He is going to be following this up with a gas, not with a third hatchery. So he's not going fully gasless like he did in the previous game. It's something that you can't really get away with on some of these other maps where you can be scouted that much more easier, where your opponent has a little bit more control. But this is just a great way to play out a series, you know, because GuMiho is going to get eyes on these lings soon, and in his mind he may be thinking it's the same thing. He may anticipate the same build from Dark and prepare for that sort of thing. So it's a great way to just keep your opponent guessing. As the first Reaper is rushing across the map, GuMiho did not go for an SCV scout, so he's going to be seeing things for the first time with this Reaper as the lings once again get across the map. One gets peeled off for the SCV, the other 5 go into the main base. Factory already on the way, and a lot of lost mining time. This already makes it worth it here for Dark as he opts to turn around and fight the SCVs. Oh, he will get 2 SCVs for his troubles. Delays that CC, the Reaper forced to turn around. And Dark shouldn't get a third SCV, he shouldn't really get too much more from here, is going to get cleaned up. Oh, but again, this is just a great way to throw a wrench into the works of the Terran build, just to keep GuMiho off center while Dark, you know, transitions back at home. Oh, he's trying to hide his drone! Up! Ooh. The drone does get found out, does get saved, does get morphed into a gas geyser, but GuMiho is going to be camping this. He's going to be making sure this drone doesn't have an easy time getting a third base operational. Meanwhile, Dark is forced to adapt here, is working on ling speed, and is trying desperately to expand. He just wants to expand, Papi. The Queens force off a creep, and there we go. Finally, the third base is going to be taken here, is delayed, so GuMiho is also able to slow down Dark as well. We have a bit of a back and forth going on between our 2 players. GuMiho's natural is delayed, but Dark's third is delayed. Meanwhile, I was really curious as to why we had the tech lab on the factory. This time we didn't see an immediate add-on swap. GuMiho actually goes for a Cyclone. Interesting. So I think this makes a lot of sense. Same with the Banshee follow-up. Because the third base was delayed, and because it wasn't taken anywhere near as quickly as game number 1, he knows that a gas has been taken. So the potential for a Roach follow-up is there. So GuMiho is playing this very safe. He wants to make sure he is prepared for any kind of Roach push. And the Cyclone kind of is your go-to all-around defensive unit in the early game. It does fall off as the game goes on, but in the beginning, it shoots up, it shoots down. It's crazy. Meanwhile, Banshees as well makes a lot of sense when you do go up against Dark. Oh, and Dark from here is going to be double expanding. He's going to be taking his 4th base pretty quickly, but it makes sense just because of how delayed his 3rd was. He wants to make up for that, wants to make up for his losses in Larva as well as his economy. Cyclone is revealed alongside the Banshee. Now, Dark has to be careful not to be bamboozled, because even though we have a Cyclone, we're not seeing mech. We have 2 more Raxes on the way, we have Stim on the way as well, so Dark has to be careful not to be kind of baited into an awkward composition against a bio army. As a result, he's going for a bit of a Ling run by. The wall is a wall, though, so GuMiho will be safe at home. Roach Warren is thrown down for Dark, as he's gonna have to deal with this aggression from GuMiho. So far, transducers have been on point. The Overlord does get saved. Up, up, up. Ling's coming from behind, actually. Oh my god, the surround. The setup from Dark, he's gonna be able to take down 2 of these Hellions as well as the Reaper. Beautifully done. Did he lose a queen? Did lose a queen, though. Oh, so I don't know if that was really worth it in the end. Did cost him a lot of links and that 1 queen, but at least he forces GuMiho back. And Dark is able to just drone up behind this, saturate his 3rd, take his gases. And upon seeing all these gases, we should be seeing some Evo Chambers thrown down. There we go, 2 Evo Chambers on cue here at the 3rd base. Because of the positioning as well, it is also to deter any kind of a Hellion run-bys, so very nice setup overall from Dark. And 2 games in a row, GuMiho, he's wild. This time this gets scouted. GuMiho is taking his 3rd base on location. This is such a risky thing to do. And we're about to see why. Stim is done, so with Stim, GuMiho should be able to, protect his Marines in the end. Ling run by doesn't do too much, but does force out a Stim. Roaches are now on the way, Roach speed as well. These Evo Chambers, for the time being, aren't actually being used. I don't think Dark plans to use them. We have 4 Overlords on the way. That's a lot of... Oh, sorry. I misread. It was actually 4 Roaches on the way. We have more Overlords on the way. Okay, there we go. The upgrades have now started up. I was curious to see if Dark was going to cut drones here at 64. This wouldn't be a bad time to cut drones. But we'll see. We'll see what he plans. Especially because 1-1 is still a bit of a ways off. Here we go. GuMiho is pushing out across the map with his army. Lings are setting up for a bit of a run-by. Not a lot of creep set up for Dark. The army has been revealed. Dark is droning, and as soon as he starts droning, he's actually going for an infestation pit. He is looking to potentially get into swarm hosts. Yeah, the tanks are sieged up, but the Biles make short work of the first tank. It goes down immediately. The Ravagers have the high ground as well. And GuMiho, upon losing his 2 tanks, he doesn't really have too much more staying power. The Ling's coming from behind as well. The nice target firing on the medevac. Oh. GuMiho losing too much there. And this will mean that he won't have a tank to defend against a counterattack from Dark if he went for one. We see Dark, he finishes his infestation pit. I assumed he was going to go for Swarm Host, but no, he's actually going into Hive. I'm kind of feeling, especially with 6 gases, we could go Roach, Ravager, Viper, but I'm kind of feeling Lunkers. And there we go, there is the Hydrogen. Dark wants to go old school, very 2020 of Dark, even 2021. Dark, he's going Roach, Ravager into Lunkers. It's something that he did quite often in recent memory during the COVID era of StarCraft. You do have a bit of a Marine run by. Nicely done, and Evo Chamber is going to get picked off. That's actually pretty crucial, to be honest. Dark does start +2 range. Like that's the added bonus of going for this style, is that your upgrades do favor already your lurker play, and they're going to be that much more effective once they do come out. It can be risky, as we see right now. Going Roach Ravager into lurker, we don't have a lot of anti-air. Like this drop is coming in, 5 drones get focused down. it's difficult to really deal with these medevacs, so GuMiho is flexing his air superiority quite well here. GuMiho has to split up his army as best he can to try and minimize these losses. He's looking for the drops to try and potentially even bile them down. Lurker Den is on the way. The first wave of Hydras are coming out as well. And so far this has gone unscouted. This can catch GuMiho off guard. This is a little bit worrisome. He is working on Bio Tank, which does okay against lurkers, but because he lost 2 tanks earlier, his tank count isn't as high as it should be. He's got 5 tanks right now, which is okay, but he has to be careful. If he goes for any kind of push soon, and if he throws away his tanks, then Dark can find an opening. Even here, like, GuMiho is spreading himself pretty thin. Very thin, actually. So there is going to be an opening available for Dark once he does have them. I imagine he's going to be going for a Nidus as well. That's typically what you want to be going for. Right now there isn't an Overlord in position, but you know, there is plenty of room in the main base for a Nidus. Here we go, GuMiho. Unfortunately, that drop play that we saw earlier just isn't really anywhere near as effective as it once was. Like, he's been forced to back off. The Roach Ravager count is high enough to be able to defend. Lurkers are being morphed in. Lurker upgrades. Adaptive Talon's about to finish up. Looking at the upgrades, we don't have Seismic Spines yet, but I'm sure we're going to be starting it soon. There we go. Immediately does begin. And Dark is kind of getting away with a lot right now. His drone count isn't amazing, to be fair, and he's only just now getting his 5th base, so Dark, he's lacking a little bit in the economy, but he's making up for it in the finesse of his army, in the power of these lurkers, as well as the Vipers. And as the game goes on, he's going to want to eventually get rid of these roaches and refine his army even more, make more lurkers, go into Ling Bane. He has to be careful, though. The lurkers do reveal themselves to this drop. GuMiho is fully aware, and GuMiho thankfully already has a Ghost Academy. Does have Ghosts on the way. Oh, he's even a little bit paranoid about a Nidus as well. Banshee is going to be patrolling in his main base. We already have Vikings to help deal with those Vipers. An interesting answer to the Vipers. I don't think I like it. Typically, I feel like Ghosts are going to be more than enough, but okay. You know, GuMiho is going to be looking to zone away those Vipers entirely. Meanwhile, upon seeing the defensive position here of GuMiho, it looks like Dark is setting up for a later game. Double Spire to get into Broodlords. We have Pathogen Glands, we have Burrow on the way, just every upgrade that you would expect. And Dark is double expanding as well, just taking his entire half of the map. And as we were mentioning earlier, Dark wants to get rid of the Roach Ravager. Like, this is wasted, inefficient supply. He doesn't want to throw it away, but again, he does want to slowly get rid of it. We're in for a long one. GuMiho is getting away with taking these bases towards the south. So his own economy is getting set up quite nicely, working on 3-3. Would I like Liberators? I think I would. I think I would appreciate Liberators over Vikings in this position, just because I do think they pose a bit of a stronger defense against Lurkers. But at the same time, as I say that, we don't even have that many Lurkers. We have 6 Lurkers right now. It's not that many at all. It looks like Dark is looking to skip Lurkers entirely and go straight into Broodlords. If he needs them, he needs them, but yeah. Meanwhile, here we go, the Roach Ravager looking for some more trades. Is going to be able to get a tank. Takes a lot of tank shots to the face. The Biles! Ooh. Biles do go off. Yeah, just dancing as best we can. As we lose roaches, we're replacing the roaches with infestors. You love to see it. Maybe slowly gathering that energy. Meanwhile, more factories are being thrown down. You know, we should be seeing Thor Ghost at a certain point here from GuMiho. Ah, we love to see it. Dark, just always trying to find what he can. There's the Nidus that we were waiting for. Nidus is on the way. It's going to be difficult to Nidus anywhere effective, though. Like, we have a ring of turrets covering the main base, so GuMiho should be safe. And we'll see where we go from here. Likewise, I feel like GuMiho also wants to get rid of these Marines as well. Like, as the game goes on, they don't really scale amazingly. Oh, the ghosts get caught out. One ghost is going to get picked off. Dark overextending a little bit, but gets a tank. And again, we want to get rid of this. So this is fine here for Dark. It's fine. He's just taking side of the map, spreading more creep, working on even more of his Spire upgrades. The question really is going to be, does Dark from here want to switch into Broodlords or switch into Lurkers? Like, it all depends on what GuMiho has and what he sees as. Oh my god. Oof. The double drop gets completely shut down. GuMiho is going to be pushing forward. There's nothing to protect these Lurkers, so snipes are going to force them back. GuMiho making some moves happen. Dark has to respond. The Infestors are coming in, but the Lurkers get sniped. Infestors were just a little bit too late. Dark is opting to replace the Lurkers with more Hydras and more Lurkers. Okay. Interesting. Potentially, Dark wants to hold off on switching into Broodlords until 3-3, until they're actually well upgraded. Wants to force a certain composition out of his opponent first. So, looks like we've decided to stay with Lurker Viper. That's what we're working with. Oh my god, Dark? No! A little bit of miscontrol. Lurkers do move forward. Gotta be careful here. Lurkers are a little bit expensive. They do take a long time to replace. So Dark has to be careful not to throw too many of them away. As again, he's setting up another Roach Ravager run by. Liberator production has commenced. That's what we were waiting for. GuMiho was just waiting for confirmation that Lurkers were actually going to be made, and we were going to see a commitment to Lurkers. Yo, we got nukes on the way. We got lib range. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. Oh. And now that we actually have a decent amount of Lurkers, it's very safe play from Dark. If he went straight into Corruptors, then he just wouldn't really have a ground army. So we have Lurkers. Now we're working on Corruptors. Now we're working on 2-2. As we lose Lurkers, then we're going to be transitioning into Broodlords. Very methodical. As finally the Roach Ravager is all going to go down. It took a while, but you know, we got there in the end. Slow and steady. All that good stuff. And I guess at this point we take a bit of a step back. GuMiho, upgrades wise, he's working on +3 ship attack, which is pretty good. His armor upgrades are lacking. His overall unit composition, he's got 16 ghosts, 1 Thor, and 10 tanks. It looks like he hasn't really seen the transition to Broodlords yet, so his lack of Thors is going to hurt him in the long run. There is going to be a window here where GuMiho is only just now working on his 2nd Thor. A lot of his supply is tied up in all these tanks, and that's really not what we want against the Broodlords. So Dark's going to be able to trade well before GuMiho is able to really get into that Thor production. He's waiting for his moments. The ghosts are pulled out of position here onto the right-hand side. They throw down a nuke. Meanwhile, the Infestors are looking for their moment to fungal. Nuke goes off, but doesn't really get much. Just clears up some of the creep, and here we go. We see our first fungal. Doesn't really connect with much. Some medevacs, sure, that's okay. Ooh, a Viper goes down to the Vikings, though. Does get a parasitic bomb, and there's no splits. The fungals. Every single Viking goes down. Well worth it for Dark. Dark loses 1 Viper for, what was that, 7 Vikings? Vikings are being rebuilt. Broodlords have been revealed. Thors are on the way. drop across the map is being cleaned up by some of those defensive lurkers. Ghosts are coming in for the snipes. Where are the bungles? Oh, we don't really see them. And Infestor goes down. It's a dance here between the ghosts and the infestors. Up, up, up. We get the fungal we're looking for. Oh my god. We get the chain fungal as well. There's nothing to support the ghosts. Oh, so many ghosts go down. Ay, ay, ay. Where was the Thor? Where was everything else? The ghosts, they're on their own, papi. And that was all that Dark was waiting for. He has a lot of momentum right now. The ghosts are being rebuilt. The infestors are kind of out of energy. A lot of them are, at least. Without infestors, you can't really punish these ghosts anymore. But this is what I was talking about. Like, this is the period where Dark gets the most damage, because now we have 3 Thors being produced at a time. Like, now we're actually, like, GuMiho is responding very heavily here to the Broodlords. And it's going to be a little bit more harder for Dark to find the damage that he's finding right now. Meanwhile, we're just throwing down a couple of Niduses. Broodlords are looking for a way in. Is he going to attack the Changeling? Oh. He's going to be able to duck some of these Liberators into the Spore Forest. 3-3 on the way for Dark. I don't know about this, though. A lot of Queens are getting picked off. These Liberators are really paying for themselves. Oh my god. Oh my god. Even getting shots off on the Infestors. And the goal here for Dark, if you're wondering, is to deny this base. It's all to deny any further expansions here from GuMiho. We see Creep covering the northern portion of the map, and Dark is just looking to mine everything else out and just out-trade GuMiho over time. And so far, he's done a good job at it. I mean, look at the banks right now. Like, GuMiho is struggling to maintain a gas bank. Meanwhile, Ling run by this location is completely undefended. The lurkers, they find an opening. And they're going to force the ghosts to respond. As the ghosts move out, the Broodlords move in. Oof. The tank is going to be going down for nothing. Oh, no, Viper. Viper overextends. But again, the goal here for Dark isn't for like one big massive fight. It's to chip away. Chip away at GuMiho. Pick away at his army. Pick away at his bases. GuMiho trying desperately to take this base. And he's going to be able to land here on location. Planetary's on the way. Meanwhile, Ling Bane right... Oh my god! The run by! There's nothing here! The ghosts are forced to respond again. A decent snipes, but again, as the ghosts respond, in come the Broodlords, and they're going to be focusing down this Planetary. Oh my god, it almost goes down. It will go down. Oof. Oh my god, the EMPs! Jesus, the flanking ghost EMP almost every single infestor. Now it's go time for GuMiho. Now, Dark barely has any energy to work with. Dark threatening the left-hand side once again, but the Thors are pushing on in. GuMiho wants a base. Oh, here we go. The lurkers have rotated over. The infestors can't really do much of anything, but here we go. They come in for some neurals. They do take control of 3 of these Thors, and 3 Thors are going to be enough. GuMiho's hand was forced. GG gets called, and that is it. Dark takes game number 2. Forces a massive push out of GuMiho, and even though GuMiho got some solid EMPs, there were like 3 or 4 infestors that were left with energy, and apparently that is all he needed to take control of those Thors. Also, important to bear in mind, the ghosts for the most part weren't a part of the fight. They were busy dealing with the run-by. They came in at the very end, and by the time they came in to support, it was too late. The mech army was gone. Very slow, methodical play out of Dark. It was pretty interesting to see. Oh, GG. GG. Slow, methodical, well thought out, very patient play out of Dark, and his patience gets rewarded in the end. GuMiho forced out of his comfort zone. Like, GuMiho is not, even though like I bring up sometimes that GuMiho is more of a mech player, when he does play mech, he's in your face, you know, he's active, he wants to be aggressive. That's just how he tends to be. But in a game like this, forced to turtle up and just be defensive, it isn't really GuMiho's forte. He's not Maru at that, you know. Maru wants to pitch his tent, you know. Just put on his helmet, turtle on up, you know. That's what Maru is more about. GuMiho, not as much. Oh. So GG gets called slowly over time, getting out traded, and yeah, Dark will take a lead 2-0 in this series. He needs one more uno mas to make it to be our champion for the week for ESL Open Cup Asia. And I think this is a pretty big moment for Dark because I mentioned it at the start of the series. Dark has been having a hard time recently. These past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Dark has been getting eliminated in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals. Like, he hasn't had a big championship run in a while. And I mentioned it earlier, a lot of it does come down to ZvP. Usually it's a Protoss that stands in his way. Whether it's Classic, whether it's Creator, whether it's Hero. Those three top Korean Protosses usually stand in Dark's way. And it feels like ZvP has become Dark's weakest matchup, at least against the Korean Protosses. But this week, Dark avoided the Protosses entirely. He had Chance in front of him, and no disrespect to Chance, but you know, he's a bit of a step below the other Protosses in the bracket. He was able to avoid all of them, and Dark excels here against the Terrans. And he's excelling in the grand finals. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have a player who needs your energy. He needs your help. He needs your help to avoid a 3-0. He's up against the wall, down 0-2 in the grand finals of ESL Open Cup 166. Give him your support. The Korean Terran, GuMiho. Oh. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Sister, and we have his opponent, the player who is on fire here with his ZvT, who is leading this series 2-0, the South Korean Zerg, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is Dark. That was a long one. It was a long one, it was a slow one. Again, slow, patient, methodical play out of Dark. Just picking away, slicing away at GuMiho over time. And now we're getting into the ace match. We're getting into match point. Dark is one game away here from becoming our champion. And we're on Ancient Cistern, a larger map. A map that can kind of lean towards mech play. It's not bad. It's not bad on Ancient Cistern. So if GuMiho were to whip it out at some point this series, it would be on this map. Would he whip out 2-port BC on Ancient Cistern? I think so. I think so. But do we see it against Dark? I don't think so. I think Dark, because of his aggressive nature, I don't think it's a wise move against a player like him. So we'll see as GuMiho is moving out across the map with his Reaper. Dark, for the first time this series, goes for a hatch gas pool opener. No pool first, and it makes sense because we're on Ancient Cistern, we're on a large map. Going for a pool first doesn't make a lot of sense just because of how long it takes for your links to get across the map and actually be effective. Oh. As Dark actually invests, he makes 6 links defensively. 2 more than we usually expect. Dark sometimes does do this just to be extra safe against the Reaper. So it is going to mean 1 less drone for Dark, but, you know, he's going to be that much safer. Peace of mind and all that. Peace of mind. As he's getting into his opener, pulls out of gas, all that good stuff. He's going to be taking his third base on time, on location. Meanwhile, across the map, GuMiho is going for a 3cc before Starport build. Very economic, kind of what we expect to see, especially on Ancient Cistern, a standard economic macro opener from GuMiho. So nothing too crazy, nothing necessarily to take note of at the moment. We should be seeing an add-on swap, but we'll keep an eye on things here. We should be seeing 3cc Banshee from GuMiho. This does mean that we're not going to be seeing BCs, of course. Thankfully. Not again, Papi, not again. As we do see that add-on switch, and we do have that Banshee on the way. We'll see if GuMiho commits and makes Cloak alongside this, or just commits to 2 Banshees and nothing else. As the Hellions dip in for a moment just to see if they can get some drone damage. Looking at the units lost tab, we have lost nothing. Only forced to cancel that gas geyser. So very nice play from both players. You know, the ebb and flow of ZvT. Dark not slipping up, but maybe slips up a little bit here as GuMiho is diving into the natural base. Lings were waiting for the dive though, and they do take down 2 of these Hellions immediately. The boys are split as well. And GuMiho does 0 economic damage. He forces a little bit of lost mining time as Dark maybe overreacted a little bit, but he didn't lose a single drone. Wow. GuMiho got baited in and Dark shut it down. Now he has so much freedom to spread creep, take bases, drone up as well. He's getting ready for the Banshees. Spores are on the way. Not a very good start here for GuMiho. Unfortunately, losing those 4 Hellions is brutal. It means that these 4 Hellions are that much weaker. They have a little bit less sustainability. They have a little bit less just overall potential, as he's going to be trying to slip into the third base. Gets a creep tumor before he does get deflected. Meanwhile, we do see Bio. 2 more Raxes are thrown down. Stim is on the way, so GuMiho is not going to be taking the bait and going for mech. Thankfully. Thank God. As Dark from this is actually doing something pretty interesting. Dark is intentionally delaying his lair and delaying his Baneling Nest as well. He's going into a double Evo opener instead. So with this, he's actually going to be able to keep up with the upgrades of the Terran opponent and maybe even exceed the upgrades as well. This will delay Banelings and Baneling speed, but he's going to be able to take it like a really big lead in the mid game. Going to be relying a lot on Lings to begin with. Can be a risky move, especially if you're going up against like an 8 Rax, for example, but Dark is taking that risk. Is cutting corners, is droning up to 80 as quickly as possible. Banshee's going to be looking to slow him down, and they do rock up here at the 4th base, but the Queens are not too far behind. We have a Spore on the way as well. Dark here at the 6-minute mark is nicely situated at 73 drones. And yeah, if he wanted to, he can just drone up straight to 80. Like, there's nothing really going to slow him down. Lair is finally finishing up as well. We have 2 macro hatcheries. Jesus Christ, we need all that lava for Lings. And there is that Baneling Nest as well. We should be seeing Baneling speed started soon. There it is. And GuMiho can't really do anything to stop Dark. Dark, if he wanted to, this is actually a really good setup to go straight into Ultras. If we wanted to rush into Hive, like the infestation pit is on the way. Like Dark is set up for this. Oh, just gonna be supply blocked for a little bit there. 1-1 about to finish up for both players. We should be seeing 2-2 momentarily. There we go. Immediately 2-2 does begin. The armory is still on the way for GuMiho, so he's going to be falling behind a little bit. Meanwhile, the Hive has completed. Once this gets deflected... Sorry, the infestation bit has completed. Once this gets deflected, I imagine we're going to be seeing Hive. Give it to us, Papi. Give it to us. And GuMiho is going to be moving out. He does have 2 tanks to his name and a decent bio force. Looking at the production, yeah, just 5 Raxes for the time being. So with this army, he can clear up some creep. He can apply some pressure to this base. There's that Hive that we were talking about. and I feel the 3-3 timing with ultras. I can feel it. Oh my god. It's been so long since I've seen Dark do this, I'll be honest. It's been so long. I remember him doing it last year at Katowice. As a lot of creepers being cleaned up, again, because there's only 2 tanks, GuMiho has to be careful not to overstay his welcome. As time goes on, Dark, he's making more and more Lingbane. He's setting up for a massive surround. GuMiho, I feel like he needs to leave before things get a little bit too scary. Dark actually going for a run by. Oh, he's going to be catching a lot of these Marines. Okay, decent reactions from GuMiho. He does pull back in the end. And doesn't lose any workers. Very nicely done. Oh my god. Dark doesn't care. He's going to be setting up for another run by. Meanwhile, GuMiho is reinforcing, and now suddenly this push is looking that much more terrifying. Oh, Dark does catch some reinforcements. Can he get a tank? Oh, we'll see as GuMiho is pushing in towards the hatchery. Dark is just completely giving up this base. It looks like a tank was not taken out, but the Banelings do run into the middle line. 8 SCVs go down. GuMiho powering through this hatchery. Oh my god, another Ling run by. And as he does move up towards 6 tanks now. And Dark, okay, I was like, is he finally going to set up a surround? There we go. He is setting up for a massive surround. 2-2 is done. GuMiho is only working with 1-1 at the moment. And here we go. Dark is pulling the trigger. And from every single angle, GuMiho, he stuck around too long. It was like, mate, get the hatchery and get the hell out of there. He got the hatchery. GG gets called. He just taps out. Oh. We don't get to see the ultras, Papi, as Dark does it. He takes the series 3-0. Ay. GuMiho was forced pretty all in, not because his army was cleaned up, that was a part of it, but also because his third base was crippled economically. Like, because of the Lingbane run-bys, like, there was just not really much of an economy to speak of anymore. Dark, the balls that he had to go for those run-bys as GuMiho was pushing into him was crazy. I thought he was setting up a first round, but no, he wanted more. He wanted workers, and he got them. And he waited. He's like, you can kill my hatchery, that's fine. I got more hatcheries that came from. Come deeper and deeper into creep. Commit yourself more to this, because I know I'm going to shut you down. And we saw that, yeah, Dark just swallowed up his army entirely. He got away with so much in the early game with those bases, with those upgrades. Oh, GG. GG, well played. And with that, GuMiho, he does get eliminated here in the grand finals, and Dark is our champion. 3-0, doesn't drop a map in the grand finals. He did drop a map in the semis. He did lose a game to Cure. But here, I do think that stylistically, Dark is GuMiho's kryptonite, honestly. I think a more standard Mech-oriented player has a little bit more success, whether you're Cure, whether you're Bunny, whether you are Maru even. I do think you can have a little bit more success with that. GuMiho, because of his aggressive nature, he does put himself in these situations sometimes, and I think Dark wants that. I think Dark likes that, Bobby. He likes it. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark. And, yeah. Congratulations to all the players, to all the people that voted on him as well. As I'm just going to pay out the predictions. Yeah, we made it. I didn't think I would. I can actually hear my voice dying a little bit. But we were able to make it to the entirety of the cast solo casting. It's not ideal. I prefer casting with someone else, but we made it. We made it in the end. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I hope everyone had a good time today. Hope you enjoyed the games overall, and I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We are done for the day. We're done. Our next broadcast is going to be in a couple of days. ESL Open Cup Americas is going to be this week on Tuesday. So if you want some more ESL weekly action, we got you covered there. Meanwhile, keep your eye out on our social media, because over the next couple of days, we have an announcement. We are making an announcement soon, TM. either tomorrow or the day after, so get ready for that. Some big news on the horizon for the CranKy Ducklings, and we are gonna be putting in the work. We got a lot planned for the year for StarCraft, so yeah, keep an eye out for us. If you want to support us, you can subscribe on Twitch. You can check out our Patreon as well, as all the money that we make on Twitch and Patreon goes towards our players, goes towards our events as well that we do run from time to time. So that is set up if you want to help us out, if you want to support us. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you want to tune into myself, I do stream throughout the week. I'm not going to be streaming today. My voice is literally about to run out. I need to rest my voice, so I'll be live tomorrow. If you're interested in some amateur Zerg ladder gameplay, I got you covered at light_VIP on Twitch. If you're interested. Otherwise, again, ESL Americas is going to be our next broadcast, so you can tune in then for some more Korean on Korean action, and even sometimes some Americans and some Europeans. This is sometimes. So yeah, thank you. Outside of that, exclamation mark socials in the chat, all that good stuff, all that good exclamation mark light in the chat, and yeah, I guess I'll see you then. Again, hope you guys had a great time, and I hope you guys stay tuned for some StarCraft, because this is a pretty important year. We were talking about this a little bit during the podcast, but yeah, this is the year where support is kind of being pulled away from us, from Blizzard, from some of the higher ups, from the big premier tournaments, and this is when community tournaments are that much more important. Whether it's the CranKy Ducklings, whether it's Dave Testa and Chicken Man, whether it's Wardy, Steadfast and Behemoth, you know, even Pig is running a tournament, the Pig Fest, if I remember correctly. Like, everyone, the community is stepping up here to try and fill the void that GSL and EPT used to fill, and of course there's still going to be GSL and EPT, just, you know, reduced, and we're trying to help support, we're trying to help fill that void. And yeah, consider you know, supporting us, not just us, but every other community caster as well. Everyone is putting in the work, everyone is putting in the hours, everyone is doing what they can. So yeah, it's a pretty important time. It's pretty important. This is kind of going to set the stage for the year and for the years to come as well. So yeah, be ready for that. Be ready. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, thanks so much for the support, and we will see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Ciao.